Hi, this is Vicki Romaine with Cheerful Greetings, and today we're going to make a book or a junk journal with a hard cover.
And I'm going to show you how I do it. Now, I have 3 pieces here on my table, and this is the size I usually make most of my books, and I'll tell you why in a minute. And this is a 6x9 piece here and a 6x9 piece here. And the spine that I have in the middle is 2.5 by 9. Now your spine can be any size. The last one I made was a 1.5 inch. So you can have the width of your spine anything you want. This will be a fairly thick book because it's going to be a travel journal. In a couple of weeks, June 1 to be exact, we will be going out west for about 2 months, and I'm going to be using my journal during that time. So I want to have a fairly large journal to put all my little odds and ends in. So this is what I'm going to be using. So this is nothing more than mat board. You can hear it, it's fairly hard. And mat board is the stuff that they put around pictures. And this is what this is. If you notice, I have a crack between the spine in the front and a crack between the spine and the back. I have taped it with clear packing tape, and I have done it on both sides. And the reason there's a space is because I want it to bend freely without cracking the cover. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is put our cover on our mat board. And what I'm going to use is a piece of material. And this is the material I chose. It's kind of wild. But it's entirely different from anything I've done. And this is kind of like upholstery, but it's not that heavy, but it's a fairly thick. It's not a lightweight cotton is what I'm trying to say. Okay, now I'm going to show you my process in stages here so that the video isn't really long. So I'm going to set this up over here for a second. And I'm going to turn my cover over with the good side down. And what I have done here, if you will notice, when I place it on my material, that it is 16.5 by 11. That means the 2 side pieces and the spine and extra material makes it 16.5. And the book itself is 9 inches, so we have an inch on each side at the top and the bottom. Now I'm going to take a ruler and I'm going to draw me a line at each one of the corners. After I do that, I'm going to get me a pair of scissors here and I will cut across this line. And you may want to do it without the line. I've got it here, the scissors kind of slipped on me. There we go. Now, the reason you cut your corner at an angle is because you want to miter the corners. Now I will be doing this at all 4 corners. I'm not going to show doing it at all 4 corners, but it will be done that way. And I will turn my bottom up and turn the side over. And you will see that the material will meet at an angle. Now, if there's a little rough spot here, we will be putting a corner on there, so it would cover that up. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now and come back and show you the 4 corners finished. Okay, here's our cover. It's on. I'm not going to go and open and close it much because I want the glue to dry. And I'll show you the other side in a few minutes. So we'll let this dry. Now, we don't want the inside white, right? Number one, we got the tape here showing. So we don't want the tape to shine and distract. So we're going to put something in the middle. And I have an idea. I'll put this over here. A friend gave me a pad of paper that dealt with travel. And it just happened this was, it had 2 sheets of this in there. And I measured the center of my journal. And if I cut this in half, it will fit. So let's do that, and we'll show you what it looks like after I put my inside cover. First thing I'm going to do is tear off the top here that's got the hole in it. It's perforated, and so I'm just going to bend it down and tear it off. So now I have a 12 by 12 piece of paper after I tear this off, and then I'll cut down the middle. I have both of these pieces here where I cut my 12 by 12 piece of designer paper, and I'm going to put it in like this, and you do not want it to come to the top and to the bottom, nor to the sides, because you want to have this border around it. And in the middle, I have a problem. It doesn't fill in. So what I wanted to do was put a piece in here, and my first thought was I want blue. So I started looking at my cardstock, and I thought I couldn't find a blue, and then it dawned on me, well, there was a piece in that pad that had some blue on it, like this, and since it was by the same company, I thought, well, the blues should match pretty well, and they do. So this is the piece that I have for the middle. Now, I'm not going to put it on like this. I'm going to put the blue on first in the middle of my spine, and then I'll put these 2 pieces on top like this. Of course, measuring them as I glue them down. And that will be the inside. And let me show you my finished piece, because what I'm going to do after this, I'll have the ends, the tips put on the corners so that they will cover up my corners. So here's my book, my cover. It's pretty much finished. At least the inside is. I chose to pick the side that had my little motif off to the side rather than in the middle. I didn't care for it. I didn't like the way it was here, and you have to go by the spacing that's on the material. But I liked it over in the corner. And so what I'm going to do next, now that I have this done, and you will notice that my tips are on the corners, and that it makes the book look nice, and it covers up any flaw that might be at the corners. I'm going to get my papers, and I'm going to put inside. This is something else that I've colored. And I will give a reference below on how I did the different colors. The beige like this is tea dyed, and I will give you a link to the video showing my coloring the other pages. And what I have done is I've taken a 8.5 by 11 piece of typing paper and folded it in half. And then I'm inserting them inside each other in whatever order I choose. It's up to you, and you don't have to have this many colors. It just happens that I have this paper, and I might as well use it. And since the outside is colorful, I might as well make the inside colorful. And I'm not sure exactly how many, I haven't thought about it yet, but I think I'm going to have 10 sheets. And that's going to give me 20 pages. And so if you count back and forth, that will actually be 40 pages to work on for a signature. And I really haven't counted these up or anything yet. It will probably be 3 signatures because I know I'll be putting a lot of pamphlets in here and that type of thing that I want to keep. I'm going to be putting these papers in here like this, and I'll have 3 holes. I'll take some strong needles like this, probably one like this. And now what I've done is put dots on the spine. I don't know if you can see them or not. There's 9 dots, 3 rows, 3 columns of 3. The first 2 are near the top and 1 at the bottom. There's an extra row where I got too close to the top. I didn't measure it right. So there should be 9 dots, and that's where I'm going to be going in and out with my needle. And you always put the center one closer to the top than at the bottom. And this is my first signature. Has my papers already. And I will be using a needle with my DMC cord. I said cord, but it's actually thread. And what I usually do is divide this thread. There's 6 strands in a thread of DMC. So I usually split it and have 3 threads each time I use it. So now let's go and get the first signature put in. Okay, here are my signatures. There's 3 of them. And here's the center of one of them. And what I did was go in through the spine, come up at the top, go all the way down to the bottom, and then come back in to the center and tie it off. And that's where you do each one of them. And all 3 of them are like that. I left the string hanging, the leftover string that I used, because I'll probably put some charms on it afterwards, or some beads or something. And I just wanted to have the strings available if I wanted to use them. I can always cut them off later. And so here's my book, my journal. It's pretty much done except for the cover. And I will be doing the cover at a different time. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you did, please come back and see me. Don't forget to subscribe and have a great crafting day. Bye.